let's start talking about your experience in Poland. I know this is not your first time there. So can you tell me what made you go to Poland and finally get into Warsaw?
Well, Poland at the end, it's good for career opportunities. And I was during pandemic, I was studying IT, so now I got a job on this field here, and that's why I moved again. In this case to Warsaw, which is the capital of the country.
And how long have you been there? No.
In Warsaw, I arrived in this September, like 3-4 months ago. It's not my first time in the country. I had been living in other cities like Krakow and Lublin. Krakow is the second one, the second biggest city in the country,
And what is Poland in general like, and what it's like living in Warsaw?
well, compared to Latin America, it's quite different. Compared to Europe, compared to other countries in Europe, let's say cold country. People it's more in Warsaw, for example. They are more stressed than in other cities in the country. And Poland in general, it's how to explain in which sense. It's let's say we can say that Poland is for expats is quite comfortable to live in. It's not quite pleasant, at least for me, in winters. Like for example, now it's 3rd of December, and there is no outside, and it's dark, 4 p.m. And yeah,
And
but the quality of life, it's good. It's good.
yeah, I was gonna ask about this. Like, is it a very big city? Can you get everything you need there, or not?
Yeah. In everywhere in Poland in the last, let's say, 20 years since they came get in the European Union, has it had a really strong growth, and I think they didn't have any big crisis because it is growing and it's quite modern, the country. And they have a currency called zloty. They don't use euro. They use zloty. The ticker is PLN, and so it's cheaper when you are visiting the country from if you use dollars, euros.
And you said that Poland is a good place for like job opportunities. So what kind of job opportunities are there in Poland?
There is a lot of IT jobs. There is a lot of outsourcing. It's similar to Colombia that we discussed that. So basically, but not outsourcing from the US, it's outsourcing within European Union. So for example, let's say Heineken, they have workers in Poland simply because it's cheaper than to have it in Netherlands. So there is a lot of, as long as you are inside the European Union, you can do, like, let's say, arbitrage in terms of cost of the working labor.
And then let's say that in Poland, someone goes there to get a job, like the one you mentioned, like in the IT area, for example. What about living in Warsaw? Like, is it doable with the salary that you get from another European company? Is it cheap, expensive? You can compare it to Spain as well if you want.
Well, Poland, it was great in terms of quality of life compared to the cost of it, but since war started and since we have a big inflation, its quality of life, let's say, dropped it exponentially because we had, in my opinion, we had a 40% increase of the rental price.
Wow.
30-40% only in 1 year, just because of there is a lot of refugees coming to Poland from Ukraine, from Belarus, from Russia, some of them as well, and so there is a lot of demand and not enough buildings. So and so yeah, and also we have a 20% inflation this year, for example, and next year no, sorry, this year 18, and for the next year I think they are saying that it will be similar. So now Poland is less attractive, let's say, compared to what it was some time ago. And also another thing that I forgot to mention, that if you speak other languages in a native level, for example, I don't know, Spanish, Portuguese, French, Dutch, or Norwegian, I don't know. There is a lot of opportunities because of that, and they are offering quite good salaries if you speak other languages because of the outsourcing concept.
So it would be okay, like for someone working for a company in Norway, living there and getting the salary as long as you speak the language, and everything, right?
You live in Poland, you get I mean, you are doing the same that you would do in your country, but you're doing it from Poland, which is cheaper, and you have a better quality of life compared in terms of salary compared to the cost of living.
And what is the average price there? You said that rent has increased a lot, but today, 2022 December, how much is it to rent a room, a bedroom, an apartment there in Warsaw?
It's quite expensive. I was talking with a friend from Berlin, and she's telling me that actually it's the same price in Berlin that in Warsaw, and the salaries in Germany are almost the double, or approx they are earning the double salary. And for example, one room in city center, it costs you around 350 400 euros, something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's difficult to find accommodation since there is a lot of demand, and for every room, let's say, or flat, there is like 5, 10 people.
What about after, okay, apart from rent, what are your other costs and like groceries, utilities, and stuff like that? How expensive are they?
It is compared to Western Europe. It's a bit lower in general in the supermarket. I mean, and after in the restaurants and other things are cheaper compared to Spain, for example. Like here in Poland, you can eat in a restaurant for 5, 10 euros. You have a meal. You can have a meal.
Wow, 5, 10 euros. Okay. And and what about groceries, supermarket prices?
Um, it's not that different. Cheaper, maybe, probably, but not that.
And what about transportation?
Transportation it's really well connected, and there is and it is cheap as well compared to Spain, for example. I've like you can go by train or by bus everywhere in the country for a small amount.
And you're from Barcelona, right?
Yes, near Barcelona, correct.
In Barcelona. So now, comparing to like, I mean, when you moved there, I'm assuming that you didn't know anybody or you didn't know many people. So how was it like to meet people, make friends, go out on dates and stuff like that?
Okay, let's just speak about Polish people. Long story short, at the beginning they are a bit more close, let's say, compared to us, like Brazil, Spain, whatever. But later they are really, really good friends, and I really appreciate them, to be honest. They are, at least for me, they are always have been kind.
And do you go to the office or do you work from home?
From home, sometimes I'm going to the office.
Ah, but there is an
From
office
time
there.
to
So
time. Yeah.
okay. So you were able to meet coworkers and stuff like that.
Yes.
Okay. And what about your free time? What do you do there when you're not working?
When I'm not working, I do quite like normal things. I go out with friends. It's going out to the gym, and a normal thing. Now it's with this weather, it's not. I mean, I like to walk outside to go for a walk, but now it's not that pleasant with this weather. It's 0 degrees, maybe less too. So,
Wow.
so now here in winter we do indoor activities mainly.
You mentioned that you can speak other language, get jobs, but you speaking Spanish and English, how difficult or how easy is it to meet people and make friends?
I think it's easy. It's not difficult. And another good thing is that you don't need to speak. Well, at least I don't need Polish in my day-to-day life or in my work, because it's quite difficult language to learn. And everybody, at least in Warsaw, Krakow, like in the main cities, most of the people speaks English, so it's easy to be friend with. And yeah, in the bars, it's easy to meet people in general.
So if you go to the bakery, to the pharmacy, they will speak a bit of English.
Yeah, totally.
Ah, that's good. That's great. Okay, good.
I mean, if you go to a 500 inhabitants town, probably not, but in the big cities, in city centers, for sure.
What would you say are the pros and cons of living in Warsaw or living in Poland in general?
Pros, a lot, to be honest. I really like the country. Like quality of life is great. It was affordable. Now much less because of inflation and because of the increase in rent prices. And for example, like as well, the things are cheap. Let's say gyms are cheap, restaurants are cheap, public transportation is cheap. Salaries are less than Western Europe, but compared with life quality, I think it's a good deal. And the bad thing is the weather. For me, is really bad. Like for who doesn't know nothing about Poland, in winter it's very cold. 3.5 is dark, and since like last time I saw the sun was 1 week ago, maybe. Like
Seriously.
It's not. Yeah. I think yes. Oh no, maybe I don't remember. But it's super weak anyway, so you can see it by it.
Anyone foreigner from any country thinking about spending some time, let's say 6 months working as a digital nomad, or 3 months or a year in Poland, what would you say? Like, any recommendations you could give?
Yes, please, guys, don't come on winter. It's not pleasant. And now that, like, to be honest, the summertime, let's say from April to October, is the best time to be here, because it's really nice atmosphere. The people hanging out, and the weather is nice. It's not hot. Normally it's not more than 30 degrees max during the day, and
that's good.
And at night it's you don't need AC to sleep, so I like it. Actually, I prefer summer in Poland or in these countries like, I don't know, probably Germany, Estonia, or Czech Republic than in Spain or Portugal.